Hello and welcome to the first official weekly Roundup, brought to you by the Viking Media Club. I'm Jack Jones, student journalist and host of Behind the Page.
And I'm Noah Harper, student journalist and president of Viking Media Club. This week, we've seen controversy and protests across campus. So without further delay, let's get into this week's Roundup. So this Monday, January 31st, you may have noticed a small group of students gathered in Red Square to protest a lack of learning options this quarter. Specifically, the group of students, the Coalition of Home/Offline Individual Choice and Equity, or CHOICE, called out Western for its lack of options when it came to in-person versus online learning. Their main concern is around COVID comfortability, with many students upset at the idea of going to class in person while Omicron variant rages on.
We are protesting, we are asking the school for multimodal learning options so that people can go to class on person and online, whatever feels safest for them in the middle of the pandemic, and in general, asking for greater accessibility.
My sign I made, it says I got COVID, double masked with a KN95 from in-person classes. The first Monday that we had classes, I was double masked with a KN95. It was the first time I had actually been around a large amount of people in close proximity. Several days later, I tested positive. I hadn't been around anybody unmasked in over 12 days. The only possible exposure was from classes. I work online, and other than that, when I work in person, I work social distance. It was Omicron. It really sucked. I'm an able-bodied person. I really didn't have that many bad symptoms of it, but still, I could have given it to somebody else. There was lots of other things that could have happened.
Importantly, CHOICE does not want class to go back in person completely or completely online. They want the option for students to choose whichever one they feel more comfortable with. Not everyone agrees with this idea of learning, however, but it's also possible the real message was lost in translation.
You're not. All right. Well, you guys, I'm just saying, you have a right to not go to college, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, why should 2% of people get to run the other 98%? Like,
It's not going to affect you at all.
What are you talking about?
It's
We're
not going to
adding
affect you at all.
options for people who might die.
It says social distance isn't possible in an in-person class. That's
Yeah.
what that sign
That's
says.
literally what it
I
says.
want to be in person.
That's
so I
fine.
think that our choice.
Yeah, that's the point.
why can't we have full class? Why can't we have full class?
If people
Thank
don't want to
you,
go to
bro.
class, if people don't
Why can't we have full class like normal? Why can't I get what I'm paying for?
Then you cannot go.
Yeah,
can make
you have the
your
option
choice.
to not go. That's
you guys
you
just
can take
care
that
about
risk.
yourself.
You can take that risk.
Before you know you have it. So
Do you want her to sacrifice her education for her own safety?
I think that's the risk that has always been taken
Yes.
in everything before this bullshit, and now people are freaked out about getting sick of anything.
Because no one cared about disabled people before, and now they're speaking up, and that's why you're.
They're just too dumb.
Are you saying that they have to choose?
And now for our next story about the Honors Student of Color and their most recent release of demands for the Honors College. The WW Honors Student of Color is a place of support, community, and inclusion for students of color in the Honors Program, and they've released a list of demands. The goal of these demands is for the Honors Program to add to and enrich the college experience for all students of color, rather than take away from it. They quote, "Hope this program will finally feel like a welcoming space to all in the future." Feedback from the students of color says that they do not feel welcomed, represented, or safe despite the space and efforts they have made thus far. HSOC demands that the Honors Program staff, faculty, and administration, quote, "do their jobs and support us in improving the quality of life for students of color in the program." Demands include affinity housing for Edens Hall for students of color in the Honors Program, ending the usage of the N-word by non-black students, staff, faculty, and administration in the Honors Program, and curriculum reform to the first-year sequence of courses. HSOC also has the immediate demand for a reporting system in the Honors College for students of color who are experiencing microaggressions and racism. The full list of demands, as well as additional information on HSOC, can be found in the link below. Check back in with us soon for a full interview with a representative from HSOC.
For our next story, it's important for us to mention that this post, while potentially massive, is anonymous and no sources are provided. We plan to do further research into this in the future, but as for now, this is all just speculation. The post comes from one of the many new WWU voices which have gained massive popularity within the student community on Instagram. The accounts are known for their expose-type posts that come from anonymous sources. We find this story important to share because even though we are unsure of its credibility, it has blown up on social media after being spread by all the main Western student accounts. An anonymous student employed by Aramark has written an article exposing internal issues with food service locations on campus. The article was shared by New WWU Voice on Instagram, which was subsequently reposted by other popular Instagram accounts. This post is yet another piece of the ongoing puzzle that is the Aramark controversy. Under the veil of anonymity, the post consists of numerous accounts of Aramark's mistreatment of employees. The anonymous student speaks of unlivable wages, even for full-time workers, body shaming, unsanitary standards, poor management, and rat infestations, which Aramark and Western both have failed to address, and gross mistreatment of employees. A recurring theme throughout the post is that Aramark is responsible for the issues on Western's campus, not the student workers themselves. Student employees are not allowed to accept tips. As one manager stated, if we're allowed to accept tips, they don't qualify for corporate tax cuts. An idea which another student worker commented on, as they feel the company sees us as disposable. Aramark's issues are allegedly not isolated to Western, as the conglomerate serves food in over 600 prisons nationally. As their anonymous source stated, within these prisons, there have been reports of meal shortages, maggots in kitchens, smuggling drugs and other contraband, and lastly, Aramark workers engaging in sexual acts with prisoners. This article and the feedback it received from students online reflects other claims and sentiments shared by the Western student group, Shred the Contract. Shred the Contract is a group concerned with ending the contract between Aramark and Western, and have often petitioned and protested on campus. Viking Media Club will continue to report on this story as it develops.
Hey guys, it's Noah. Just want to say thank you for sticking with us. We're a small team of student journalists just trying to make things that we like, and we appreciate your support. Subscribe to us on our YouTube or follow us on Instagram. I'll edit those in later. And if you have a story you want to see covered, DM us. As always, this has been Viking Media Club, and we'll see you next time.